Hi students. So in this video we are going to see figure of speech in Unit 2 poem The Grumble Family. So in the Grumble family there are more than 5 poetic devices is presented in this poem The Grumble Family. Personification is there, epithet is there, alliteration, rhyming scheme, rhyming word, alliteration, contrast. So these are all the anaphora, repetition. So these are all the poetic devices presented in this poem, The Grumble Family. Now we can see one by one. So first we can see personification. So the meaning, that is the definition of the personification is, personification gives human qualities to non-living things or idea. So personification means it will give human qualities, அதாவது ஹியூமன், அதாவது மனிதர்களுக்கு இருக்கக்கூடிய பண்புகள் இருக்குது இல்லையா, அதை தான் ஹியூமன் குவாலிட்டிஸ் அப்படின்னு சொல்கிறோம். ஸோ த பர்சனிஃபிகேஷன் மீன்ஸ் இட் வில் கிவ் ஹியூமன் குவாலிட்டிஸ் டு நான் லிவிங் திங்ஸ். அதாவது உயிரற்ற பொருளுக்கு ஒரு ஹியூமன் குவாலிட்டிஸ், அதாவது மனிதர்களுடைய பண்பை வந்துட்டு ரிலேட் பண்ணி சொல்கிறது தான் வந்துட்டு பர்சனிஃபிகேஷன். ஸோ பர்சனிஃபிகேஷன் மீன்ஸ் it will relate non-living things by giving the human qualities. So they will represent them with the human qualities to the non-living thing is called as personification. So we can see in your first stanza of the poem, in the third line and in the fourth line, you can see the personification. Now we can see in the city of never or satisfied. So here the word satisfied comes under human qualities, because our human beings only can be able to have a satisfaction with one thing, that is what is happening in our life. So நம்ம human beings-க்கு மட்டும்தான் என்ன இருக்கும், ஒரு சாட்டிஸ்ஃபேக்டரி இருக்கும், மன திருப்தியாக இருக்கும். ஸோ இஸ் த சிட்டி வில் ஹாவ் எனி சாட்டிஸ்ஃபேக்ஷன்? ஸோ பிகாஸ் சிட்டி இஸ் அ நான் லிவிங் திங். ஸோ ரைட், சிட்டி இஸ் அ நான் லிவிங் திங். ஸோ ஹியர் இன் த சிட்டி ஆஃப் நெவர் ஆர் சாட்டிஸ்ஃபைட். ஸோ ஃபார் த சிட்டி, தட் இஸ் சிட்டி இஸ் அ நான் லிவிங் திங். ஸோ they are giving the human quality satisfied to the city. So this sentence is called as personification. So see this next line, the river of discontent beside. So here the river is a non-living thing and discontent is a which it is also called, it is not satisfied. So the same human quality is refers to the non-living thing, river. So these two lines comes under the personification. So next one, anaphora. So now we can see anaphora. So the definition of the anaphora is repetition of a word or a phrase. So repetition of a word or a phrase at the beginning of a sequence of the sentence, paragraph and lines. I hope you have studied this anaphora in previous year, that is in 9th standard itself. I hope you have read this. So the anaphora means repetition of a word. So repetition na தொடர்ந்து மறுபடியும் அந்த word, repetition of a word or a phrase at the beginning of the sequence of the sentence or a paragraph or a line. So repetition of a word, அதாவது ஒரு வேர்டு ஒரு phrase. என்ன phrase means sentence we can call one or more than a word is called as a phrase. அதாவது ஒரு வேர்டு, அதுவும் ஒரு வேர்டுக்கும் மேற்பட்ட வேர்டு வந்துட்டு என்ன சொல்லுவோம், நம்ம வந்துட்டு ஃப்ரேஸ்ன்னு சொல்லுவோம். ஆர் அ வேர்ட். ஸோ ஒரு வேர்டு இல்லைன்னா ஃப்ரேஸ், அதாவது ரெண்டு வேர்டு சேர்ந்து இஃப் இட் இஸ் ரிப்பீட்டிங் இன் த பிகினிங் ஆஃப் த சீக்வன்ஸ், ஓகேவா, beginning of the sequence of the line or a sentence or a paragraph is called as anaphora. So you can see, so here anaphora and repetition are more similar. So repetition and anaphora are more similar. Now we can see the definition for the repetition also. It refers to use the same word or a phrase for multiple times. So the repetition of a word or a phrase, repetition, இங்கே repetition வந்துருச்சு. ஸோ அகெயின் இட் ரெஃபர்ஸ் டு த யூஸ் த சேம் வேர்ட் ஆர் அ ஃப்ரேஸ். ஸோ மறுபடியும் அதே வேர்ட் ரிப்பீட் ஆயிடுச்சுன்னா இட் கேன் பி கால்ட் அஸ் anaphora or repetition. So now we can see the line, they growl at that, and they growl at this. So here the word they growl is repeated. So it can be called as anaphora or repetition. So you can call it as a anaphora or repetition, because repetition also the same word வந்துட்டு repeat ஆகணும் for multiple times, can be a one time or a two time. So but they have mentioned as a multiple times. So in anaphora also there is a repetition of a word at the beginning of the sequence, because beginning of the sequence. So that அப்படிங்கிறது ஒரு conjunction word, and and is a conjunction word. So the two sentences connected, so it is the beginning of the sequence only, right? So it is called as the anaphora as well as repetition. So anaphora and repetition are both are same, because both will be repeating the words or a phrase for a multiple times, and anaphora is in the sequence, that is it will be coming at the beginning of the sentence or a paragraph or a line. So here you can say they growl and they growl is in the same sentence, but the conjunction word and is presented. So two sentences connected using and conjunction, so you can say as the beginning of the sequence of the sentence. Next, contrast. The act of comparing people. The act of comparing people or things, showing the difference between them in a sentence. So contract na we can say as opposite. Opposites nama படிச்சிருக்கோம் இல்லையா? So this is called as a the same is called as a contrast. So act of comparing people or a thing. ஒரு people things வந்துட்டு showing the difference between in the sentence is called as contrast. And also we can say as oxymoron. So contrast னு சொல்லலாம், we can call it as oxymoron. So both நீங்கள் contrast அப்படின்னு எழுதினாலும் கரெக்டு தான், oxymoron அப்படின்னு எழுதினாலும் கரெக்டு தான். oxymoron is nothing but opposite words in a same sentence. So ஒரே சென்டென்ஸில், அதாவது ஒரே சென்டென்ஸில் it should have a opposite meaning of the words. Okay, so that is called as oxymoron and as well as contrast. Now we can see the example. Now you can see the example. See, humble, high. So humble high means high, ரொம்ப பெருசா இருக்குது. whether they station be high, அதாவது அவங்க வந்துட்டு ரொம்ப ரிச்சாக இருந்தாலும் சரி, or humble ரொம்ப மாடரேட்டாக இருந்தாலும் சரி. So it is an opposite meaning, right? So here it is a contrast or oxymoron. So in the next stanza, same the contrast or oxymoron is presented. See the word hot, cold, summer, winter. And here also see they grow that, this. So that na and this na in the. So this is also called as a contrast or oxymoron. High, humble. In next stanza, hot, cold, summer, winter. So these are all the contrasts presented in the poem. Next, epithet. So epithet is also important in this poem. See, you can see the definition of the epithet. An epithet is an adjective or a phrase. An epithet is an adjective or a phrase expressing a quality or attribute regarded as a characteristics of the person or the things mentioned. So it is an adjective or a phrase which is expressing the quality. ஓகேவா, ஒருத்தரோட குவாலிட்டி, ஒருத்தரோட பண்புகளை வந்துட்டு சொல்கிறது தான் we'll called as a adjective. பண்புகள் அப்படின்னு தான் நம்ம adjectiveனே சொல்லுவோம். So that is in English how we'll be describing about one thing is called as a adjective அப்படின்னு சொல்கிறோம், which is we are describing about a noun is called as adjectiveனு சொல்கிறோம். So the meaning of the adjective itself describing a noun is called as adjective. So likewise the epithet is an adjective or expressing a quality or a attribute regarded as a characteristics of the person. ஒரு பர்சனோட குவாலிட்டி, ஒரு பர்சனோட குவாலிட்டி ஒரு திங்கோட குவாலிட்டியை வந்துட்டு adjective phrase-ல வந்துட்டு நம்ம மென்ஷன் பண்ணுறத வந்துட்டு epithet. Now we can see here complaining street. The street itself they named as a complaining street because street is a noun, right? So street is a noun, and also we can call it as a thing. Okay va, or streetங்கிறது ஒரு தெரு, and we can call it as a thing, and also it comes under noun. So and it should be adjective. So in the street வந்து adjective, அதாவது it is describing, the street is described by the word complaining. So the street is named as a complaining street. ஸோ இது வந்துட்டு ஈஸியாக எப்பித்தலட்னா வந்துட்டு நவுனுக்கு முன்னாடி அப்ஜெக்டிவ் இருக்கணும். அப்படி இருந்ததுன்னா it is called as an epithet. This is an easy trick for you. Next, this is the title of the poem, The Grumble Family. See, the family is a noun. அதாவது persons presented in the characteristic of a person or a thingன்னு சொல்லியிருக்கோம். ஸோ the characteristics of the person, grumble family. grumbleன்னு பார்த்தாலும் முணுமுணுத்துக்கூடிய ஒரு குடும்பம் அப்படின்னு சொல்கிறது தான் வந்துட்டு the grumble family. So now next we can see the alliteration presented in your poem and rhyming scheme and rhyming word in your poem. So now we can see the alliteration presented in your poem, The Grumble Family. So alliteration means the first letter or the sounds, the consonant sounds is the repetition of the consonant sounds or a first letter is called as a alliteration. Now we can see the alliteration that is presented in your poem. So now you can see they, that, or they, this. So this is called as a alliteration. High, humble. Growl, grumble. Long, learn. High, humble. Smile, song. So these are the alliteration presented in your poem. Now we can see the rhyming words in the poem. So here there are more than 8 stanzas in your poem. So for framing the rhyming scheme, you can't able to continue your alphabets. So we can frame for four லைன்ஸ் இந்த ஸ்டான்ஸா. ஸோ ஒரு ஸ்டான்ஸாவில் 4 லைன்ஸ் இருக்கு இல்லையா, அதுக்கு வந்துட்டு நம்ம வந்துட்டு ரைமிங் ஸ்கீம் ரைமிங் வேர்ட்ஸ் கண்டுபிடிச்சி ரைமிங் ஸ்கீம் வந்துட்டு ஃப்ரேம் பண்ணலாம். See, in the first stanza, meet, street. So it sound is presented, so we can frame a. Next, satisfied. So you can't say the same it sound. So here meet, it sound. Street, satisfied, id sound. This is id sound. Id. The sound is differing from street and satisfied. Okay, so now for satisfied, beside. So we can frame as b. So the rhyming pattern of the first stanza is a b. The rhyming. So these are the meet, street is a same rhyming word. Beside, satisfied is the same rhyming word. So for the first stanza, a b is the rhyming scheme pattern. So next, for the second stanza, this miss sound is presented, so we can frame as a. Humble, ill sound is presented, so we can frame as humble. Grumble, so we can frame as b. So the same pattern a b is presented in the second stanza also. Next, cold, scold, so we can frame as a. Meet, street. Say other sound, cold, scold, it sound like the meet, it sound varudilla, so we can frame it as bb. So the same for third stanza also, rhyming pattern is a bb. Now fourth stanza, sun, done. So here last letters are repeated, so no problem, but here there is no same pattern. Here sun in sound la irukku, okay va. Here done, so same in sound only, so we can frame as a. Doubt, about, it sound is presented, so bb. So for this also aa bb is a rhyming pattern. Next, same, same, name, so same sound, so a so a is presented. Next, he, C, E sound is present, so BB. So for fifth one is AA, BB is a rhyming scheme pattern. And for the sixth stanza, stays, aways, this sound is presented, so AA. Jumble, grumble, ill sound is presented, so BB. So the rhyming scheme pattern is AA, BB. Feet, street, AA. Do, to, bb. So here also a bb. Song, ing sound, wrong, same, a. Humble, grumble, so bb. So here also a bb. So for the all the 8 stanza also there are the rhyming pattern is a bb. So I hope you have understood this figure of speech. Thank you.